Mobil Dünya Kongresi'nde çok önemli bir konuğum var arkadaşlar. Solana Mobile yöneticisi Emmet ile beraberiz. Peki Solana Mobile ne? Android akıllı telefonlarda dijital varlık yönetimini ve güvenliği donanım seviyesine indiren bir sistem. Kapalı devre olarak test edilen bu sistem bugün Mobil Dünya Kongresi'nde dünyaya açıldı ve Android telefonlar için yepyeni bir işletim sistemi geliyor. Güvenli ve aynı zamanda dijital varlıkları yönetmenize imkan veriyor. Şimdi ona bazı sorularımız olacak. Bu sistemin ne olduğunu öncelikle bize anlatmasını isteyeceğiz. Hi Emmet.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Good.
And it's a very nice, you just opened the Solana stack to OEMs, and so everybody will be able to use this platform. But first of all, for our readers, I want you to tell me exactly what Solana Mobile Stack is.
Sure. Thank you for having me. The Solana Mobile Stack is a collection of technologies that make Android mobile devices supercomputers for blockchain and digital assets. They work from the secure element, the hardware level, all the way up to the user software level to enable that if you're somebody who cares about digital assets, stablecoins, cryptocurrencies, that your phone can be the best, easiest, most secure way that you access all of it.
The Solana Mobile Stack makes the phones supercomputers. Okay, but why are you opening it to the OEM partners now?
You know, to date, we have sold our own devices. Back in 2023, we started with Saga. Just last year, we started to ship Seeker, which I have right here. These devices have met the needs of our users. We've sold 20,000 Saga devices and 150,000 Seeker devices. But we don't want everybody in the world who cares about digital assets to have to come to us buy a phone. You know, for most people, buying a phone is a really personal decision. There's a lot of factors that go into it, like your price point, how much you care about your camera, your screen. And to date, we've only ever offered one entry point. We don't think that's the right model going forward. We know that there is a huge global audience. There's nearly 750 million people who hold digital assets. Not all of them are going to come to us to buy a phone, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't have access to the best security and the best user experience that they can on a phone. And that's why we're here meeting with partners to bring our stack to their devices and their customers.
So we are talking about Web3 adoption. But is this really a Web3 adoption, or does it give the partners a new way to utilize their devices?
Both. For us, for the growing community of people who care about digital assets, this is about giving them more entry points, broader ways to adopt, better ways to use Web3. But for hardware partners, this unlocks new audiences. There's a huge group of people who really care about these things. They can sell devices to those users. Those users then think of their phones as their bank. They think of it as this very critical part of their day-to-day life and their financial freedom. And so the more you think about your device in more types of ways, the stickier it becomes, which is really helpful for OEMs. And finally, it creates new revenue paths. You know, if you're a hardware manufacturer, it can be really hard to be able to find the right profit margin at a given price point for a given set of users. And so what we're trying to do is help them see this massive opportunity to capture more revenue, offer a differentiated product, and create stickiness all in one go.
What I see in your hands is a Seeker device, which has proved itself for more than 100,000 users, and they're using your stack. This phone is using your stack, and it's like a success story. But it's going to be open to the OEMs now. But let's give information about this product.
Yeah, so Seeker is our current flagship device. We started selling these last summer. We've sold about 150,000 of them globally. We've shipped them to more than 50 countries around the world. And these are users who are really active. They're using these phones on a daily basis. Collectively, they've moved almost $5 billion worth of assets. So these are users who are constantly transacting, constantly using their phones for their financial use cases.
And securely.
And security. So what differentiates this from any other device that somebody's carrying walking by is three main things. The first is Seed Vault. Seed Vault offers the same security that protects things like your biometrics, your fingerprint, your Face ID, your credit cards for tap to pay, your passwords. That same technology that's built into most phones, which is called the secure element, it runs a trusted execution environment. We've extended that technology to protect users' crypto keys. So that's one. The second piece is our wallet. So on our phone, we have the Seeker wallet. This wallet gives users a really simple and seamless way to both view and interact with their digital assets. So you can see here, I have really easy access to all of my holdings. And we've gone through painstaking efforts to make sure that the user experience feels just like any other financial app, just like Google Pay, just like Apple Pay. So that if I want to send money to a friend or buy some new assets, it shouldn't feel like I'm going on some wild journey to get there. It should feel really easy and obvious, and we've done that. The third thing that differentiates this is our store. So at the Solana App Store, there's more than 600 apps that have been built by the Solana development ecosystem that are blockchain first, mobile first use cases. So there's everything from financial first use cases to payments use cases to AI products to games products. We see this as the hub of innovation on Solana. And for our users, they get security, they get easy to use applications by us, but they also get access to this growing world of innovation that's available in our store.
So, for our watchers, let's have a walk through what happens when someone sends a digital asset through Seed Vault and with the Seeker device.
Yeah. So inside of our phones and inside of future hardware partner devices, it's called Seed Vault. Seed Vault is like a lockbox that sits in a separate part of your phone, away from Android, away from malicious apps, and it keeps your keys safe. As a user, anytime you want to then transact, anytime you want to send some money or receive some money, all you need to do is use our wallet or use another app from the store, say, hey, I want to spend this money, I want to send this money here. And the Solana Mobile Stack will then say, okay, user is trying to do this, let's get their explicit approval, let's get their biometrics so they can approve it. Your biometric approval is like opening the lockbox, taking the money out, and then handing it on to where it goes next. Without your biometric approval, the money can't go anywhere, it's totally locked away. So from a user perspective, it looks and feels just like using Google Pay or Apple Pay, but behind the scenes, there's a very complicated set of handoffs to make sure that your assets are always safe.
So, from the security point, another question arises, what happens if you lose your phone?
We've made the backup and recovery process extremely straightforward. So for users who are worried about dropping their phone or losing their phone or moving to another phone, that doesn't mean you lose your assets. Your assets are on chain. What we're securing is access to those assets. You can back up additional ways to recover them so that in the future, if you do move on or you do lose a device or drop a device, you haven't lost any sort of access.
At the moment, most of the people are using digital assets, but they are using them to move these assets or to store these assets using digital wallets, which are coming from the application stores.
Yep.
So, what's the difference between your stack and using those wallets?
Software-only wallets definitely give users the type of usability that they're looking for. They give them access, they give them the opportunity to use them, but they don't offer them the same security that we can. By using the Solana Mobile Stack on a device, by using Seed Vault, your keys are protected in a way that they can't be with software only. You know, every single month, Google is publishing long lists of vulnerabilities in Android.
Or zero-day vulnerability.
Exactly. It comes up all the time, and that's not a fault of Android. It's inevitable. But so long as you're trusting your private keys to be managed in software, you are only as secure as the operating system and the apps running on it. And that's a moving target, and it's really hard to have confidence in. So as a user personally of digital assets, there's only so much I'd be willing to store in software only. But knowing that it's backed by hardware, knowing that it's separately secure from the rest of the OS, I have much better peace of mind that I can put larger balances on here. I can send greater sums. I'm not going to be liable to any sort of hacking or unfortunate loss of funds incident.
At the moment, smartphone margins are getting smaller and smaller. And what does Solana Mobile Stack promise to the OEM manufacturers to have an ecosystem which they can benefit and profit from?
Yeah. I would say for OEMs, it's three things in terms of helping with some of the profit challenges that they're facing. The first is we can help sell more devices. There's a huge global audience who really cares about these things, who are looking for phones that meet their needs. And so if you're searching for new users, people who have new types of habits, providing this as a feature set is a way to sell more phones. So that's first. The second is, for the phones you do sell, the Solana Mobile Stack provides a new revenue opportunity. So we're exploring all sorts of commercial potentials with various OEMs, ways to get more money per phone sold to help alleviate some of that margin pressure. And the third thing I would say is, there's a ton of ongoing innovation across Solana as a blockchain. teams like Visa and PayPal and Western Union are all building solutions on top of Solana. By building a Solana Mobile Stack feature set into your phone, you're potentially unlocking yet more partnership opportunities. So as these institutions continue to build new types of products, you as an OEM can partner with them and provide new types of offering to customers because your phones are more secure and more usable for the Solana network.
So, we are a large world and we have different regions. What do you think about the acceptance of this mobile stack in different regions, and can it be customized according to the different regions?
Absolutely. The user base that we've built for with Seeker is a more pro audience. They're people who trade all the time. They have a very sophisticated set of use cases. But the underlying technology services a whole bunch of different use cases. Whether you are someone in a more developing market who just wants to receive money from family overseas, whether you're in a more developed market and you're looking to diversify your portfolio, or you're somewhere in between, where you're looking for new ways to pay and be paid, and you're looking for access to new types of financial instruments that maybe you can't get. We've built a platform. We've built a set of tools. The products that we build and that are built on top of it can absolutely be configured so that whatever user is in whatever region, their needs can be met.
Thank you for the information you have provided, and it's gonna offer a lot of opportunity for the digital market and for the people who are holding to digital assets. Now, as we are coming to the end of our interview, let's talk about 5 years from now. Do you think that hardware protecting digital wallets are gonna be a standard or are gonna be adopted too much all around the world?
Yes, absolutely. Our whole team believes that in the future, more people will keep their money in digitally native ways. They'll keep it on chain, they'll invest in different types of assets, they'll hold cash in a more digitally native way. And so for us, we think that if that is going to be the future, it's impossible to imagine that happening without phones playing a vital role. You know, phones change the way we access the internet. They changed products. There's entire conferences with hall after hall after hall of companies who have taken this opportunity. It's implausible that blockchain will continue to transform the worlds of finance and payments, and they won't have a super vital role on people's mobile devices.
Thank you very much for the information you provided. Arkadaşlar, dijital varlıklarımız önemli. Dijital varlıklarımızı korumak da önemli. Ama bunları yazılımsal olarak değil, donanımsal olarak korumak istediğimizde önümüzde bazı çözümler var. Ve bugün biz bu çözümleri sağlayan Solana Mobile Stack'in üreticileriyle beraberdik. Daha fazla bilgiyi aşağıda linkini bıraktığım haberimizden alabilirsiniz arkadaşlar. Ayrıca Solana ürünleriyle ilgileniyorsanız bu ürünleri satın almak için de aynı zamanda Solana'nın web sitesine gidebilirsiniz. Onun da linki aşağıda yer alıyor. Bu ürünleri alıp deneyebilir ve dijital varlıklarınızı donanım seviyesinde koruyabilirsiniz. Bir başka videoda görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın. Kendinize iyi bakın. Sorularınızı ve yorumlarınızı bize ve Solana'ya iletmeyi unutmayın. Hoşça kalın.